out of the ground, watching the snow melt down.
Nice, beautiful.
You made it winter, boy, but spring is my joy. It's got me feeling so glad. The days are breezy. You've got the time to say hello and give a smile. Feeling real good is in style. You made it winter, boy, but spring is my joy. It's something special. Haven't you observed it makes you glad to be alive? It's not absurd to say that spring helps you survive the winter's long, miserable snow and rain. It gives you hope to know that spring will get a refrain. You only have to believe that day is coming. The world is humming, thinking about how good it can be.
Yeah.
And that goes double for me. You made it winter, boy, but spring is my joy. Isn't spring your favorite season? Watching the flowers blooming up out of the ground, watching the snow melt down. You made it winter time, spring is my joy. It's got me feeling so glad, the days are breezy. You got the time to say hello and give a smile, feel real good is in style. You made it winter time, spring is my joy. It's something special, haven't you observed? Ain't you glad to be alive? It's not absurd to see the spring helps you survive the winter's long, little snow and rain. And did you hope to know the spring will get a refrain? You only have to believe that day is coming. The world is on and think about how good it will be and think up. You made it winter time, spring is my joy. It's something special, have you observed? It makes you glad to be alive. It's not absurd to say the spring helps you survive the winter's long, winter snow and rain. It gives you hope to know the spring will get a refrain. You only have to believe that day is coming. The world is on and think about how good it will be, and it's double funny. You made it winter time, it's double funny. It's double funny.
Yeah. Oh, Josie Falbo. Wow. That is so cool. I love it. I love how you started slow. That was really cool.
Yeah, I think that was Carrie's idea, the arranger. Yeah, I think he suggested that. And I agreed. I think it was cool to do it that way. Yeah.
Yeah, it sounded great. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Josie Falbo, and she's obviously a great singer from Chicago, and real super happy to have her on. This is actually the first time I've met Josie, and I was turned on to her by Ralph Lampkin, who is your record label or producer. Or?
Yes, publicist. He's great. Ralph, he's just super.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
And we have a bunch of people here, and they're very happy to hear you. Hello, hello, Toby and Steve. Yeah, it's really nice to hear Joyce bring ballad. I know, really nice. So, yeah, so we were just talking a little bit before we came on, and Josie is from Chicago and lives there now. So.
Actually, I'm in a suburb of Chicago now.
Okay.
I'm about, I don't know, maybe about 8 or 10 miles outside western Chicago.
Okay.
One of the western suburbs, not too far.
Yeah, yeah.
About 20 minutes to get to the city when I need to. Yeah.
I like how she qualifies that when I need
When
to.
I need to. Yeah.
Which
hasn't been a lot lately.
I was going to say that, but I didn't want to be rude. But I mean, it's just the fact, isn't it? You know? So I was telling Josie that when I watched her, when Ralph had forwarded me her information, and right away I could tell she was a longtime professional and, you know, a real musician. And and also, as a singer, when I watch another singer and listen, I mean, hopefully, I get who they are as they're putting it out, and I really just loved it so much. What I heard, it was really honest, authentic, and good.
Oh, thank you. Those are great words I love to hear, because I wanted it to be, you know, me. I wanted to be as real as I could make it, you know. So happy to hear those words. Thank you.
Yeah. Now you have been a studio singer a lot, right?
Yeah, for many, many years. Maybe going on about between 25 and 30 years. I was perfectly content to sing in the studio with these marvelous singers and musicians and producers, and happily, you know, content that nobody knew who in the hell I was, which was fine with me. You know. I just loved what I did, and of course I sang live, you know, on other venues too, but mostly just in the studio. That's what I did.
Yeah. Were you
almost exclusively?
Had you been singing jazz during that time, or did you have a mixture of styles that you sang?
Depending on which group I was working with. Sometimes the repertoire was mostly pop or R&B, and then other times, depending on the party or the type of event that it was, I'd be singing jazz and standards, that type of thing. And then at other times there were arias that were requested. So
wow.
I got to sing a variety of stuff too.
Well, how did you come up in the music business?
You mean when I started?
Yeah.
Oh, well, it was a long time ago, needless to say. I was singing I think I was 19 months old. My mother told me I was singing.
Wow, she's really going back far.
And she said, you know, she heard somebody singing with the radio with the song, and she turned and it was me, you know.
Wow.
Anyway, so I've been singing all along since I was a young girl, and encouraged, and I had many opportunities to sing. There were some great musicians in my old neighborhood, and who recognized my talent and encouraged me to sing, and brought me along on some of the gigs before I was supposed to be in the clubs, you know, and stuff like that. But that was a great experience for me, and I just kind of went along from there, working with different musicians, different groups. And then at some point, a friend of mine who was the lead singer of the group called the American Breed. Do you remember that? Bend Me, Shape Me?
Yeah, that sounds familiar. Yeah. Oh, sure. Bend me, shape me any way you want me. Yeah.
That was it. And he was working with me, and he's the one who said, make a demo tape. You would do well in jingles. And I said, no, it's a click. You know, I'll never get in. I don't know how to sight read and blah, blah, blah. But he encouraged me to do it, and he kind of guided me. And I did, made a demo, and lo and behold, I started getting called, and that was it. I've been singing about corn and peas ever since. And bread and pies and everything.
Wow. So obviously you've been singing jazz for a long time. When did you start noticing jazz?
Well, when other people were engrossed in Elvis Presley and other, young
More rock stuff?
yeah, and I was in tune with, I'd heard Ella Fitzgerald singing, and I thought, light bulb, oh, that speaks to me. That's great. And
Yeah.
Ray Charles and a bunch of other singers that nobody else my age was interested in.
Yeah.
And one of the guys actually became my first husband. Was a musician. Not that I had scores of husbands, but he was another one.
Well, yeah, I know what you mean. I've had two, so I know what you mean.
And he was a musician. He was a trumpet player. And through him, I got to hear a wide variety of wonderful jazz artists that was really my bag, I realized at the time. And I just explored all of them and just kind of enjoyed it and put them, hopefully coalesce them into me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they were a lot of icons. Too lengthy of a list to even go into.
Well, obviously Ella attracted you. Actually, for me too. Ella, my dad was a sax player, and he played music around the house. So, there was Rosemary Clooney and the Four Freshmen, and
oh God, yeah,
a lot of those. But really, Ella was like kind of my first attraction for me personally, So yeah, me too.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and so you were on your way up through your life, and you were doing studio work, and you were doing live gigging, and had a love affair going with jazz. That's correct?
Absolutely. You nailed it.
Yeah. So were there any points in those times? Was that a long period of time when those things were happening together, or were there shifts along the way in your career?
No, they kind of happened together, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was singing in the studio a lot, mostly, but there were weekend gigs that we called here in these parts. We call them jobbing gigs.
Jobbing, yeah.
Yeah. And they were, weddings or bar mitzvahs or corporate events, corporate parties, that type of thing.
Yeah.
And so I did a lot of those. I sang at churches, and it was a wide variety of opportunities to sing then. So I did quite a bit of it. I was pretty busy.
We have a financial question, which I think it changed over the years, but my friend Roland, he said, is there a residual arrangement for the singer when doing jingles?
Oh, yeah, there was a scale. There was, depending on what kind of a spot it was.
Yeah.
It was a regional spot, and it got so many plays, and you got sort of a flat, not a flat fee, but whatever the scale was for that particular group.
Yeah.
If it was a nationwide spot, then you got what they call pay for play. And every time it was played, you would accrue a royalty. Excuse me. And so through the years, I was very lucky to have done a lot of nationwide spots, for which I'll be eternally grateful. So
can you share with us a few spots that we might know?
Well, for many years, I did Sara Lee and McDonald's, a lot of McDonald's, and a lot of United Airlines before they went to just the instrumental kind of spots, and Bud Light, and Popeye's Chicken, and Kellogg's, Hallmark, um, Green Giant. I didn't do the ho ho ho, but the Green Giant did that. So,
Oh, it's McDonald's. What do you remember a McDonald's one?
well, we actually did quite a bit of the original. You deserve a break today. That
Oh,
one.
yeah,
And what was the one after that? It's hard to remember. They had several. It was
yeah.
two all beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese. That one, you remember that?
No, I don't remember
Onions
that
on
one.
a sesame seed bun. It's a good time for the great taste of
Oh,
McDonald's.
yeah. Well, that part I remember.
Yeah,
The
a lot
great
of
taste of
those.
McDonald's. Yeah,
Yeah, which was fun. There were many wonderful spots,
yeah,
gorgeous spots, beautifully orchestrated and fun to sing, beautifully vocally arranged. Cool.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Um, um, I feel like probably, I never really did a lot of studio work for some reason, whatever reason, how your career goes. I did a few things. I did one big one for Volvo and, a few things. But so I'm not that familiar with being in the studio for jingles
Mhm.
specifically.
Okay.
And so, did it change over the years? Like, was it big and fabulous in the beginning and then it got because of the money and because people started using more synthesizer than full orchestra? Did that kind of thing happen?
You just described it to a
Oh,
T. Yes, it started out great guns in Chicago at one point with one of the jingle houses that I worked for a lot was Comtrack. And at one point, they had articles in the paper about Chicago being the mecca for jingle work, for jingles. And busy as hell. I mean, we were, excuse me, doing a lot of work. And then little by little, all of the little things crept in. Instead of using groups, they wanted to use more soloists and soloists who had unique kinds of voices, not the pretty unified sound that was in vogue then.
yeah.
We wanted people who had like gravel or, like
Huh.
kind of gargled with razor blades, we used to say, at the time. That's not denigrating them. I mean, it was just, the type of
Yeah, yeah,
sound that they
yeah,
wanted.
yeah.
And then so it went down from groups to solos, and then they used synthesizers the way you described it, which came in and changed the whole landscape too. And yeah, it kind of disappeared. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. There's very little. I mean, I don't know when it was the last time it has stopped.
Uh-huh.
I'm eternally grateful whenever I do, but not like it used to be. Those halcyon days are gone. And
Yeah. And you mentioned, I know I was telling you about my friend Cathy Cousins, and she
mhm.
said really reading was not super necessary. It was more copying what the producer would say. He'd say,
Oh, really?
you know, "Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da," and so you'd have to really be able to copy what the producer wanted rather than actually reading. That was her experience. Was that
Mhm.
similar for you, or did you get your reading together over time?
Well, I kind of taught myself to, and in between sporadic lessons, trying to learn how to sight read because it was necessary. I mean, um, there weren't, we weren't, nobody came and sang the melody to us. They throw
Oh,
the spot in front of you.
yeah.
You sing top, you sing middle, you take
Yeah.
whatever,
Yeah.
and you had to sing your part. And in the beginning, I worked a lot with Bonnie Herman,
Oh, yeah.
Bonnie Herman was super
Yeah.
in every way, every way. She was super.
Yeah.
And she knew I was a nervous wreck because I couldn't read that well. So she would,
Oh,
and thank God, I have really good ears and I could,
yeah.
thank God for that. So
Yeah.
that's how I got by in the beginning. But I had to buckle down and I
Yeah.
had to learn how to sight read. And I'm glad I did. It's been a great benefit in so
Yeah.
many ways. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned Bonnie Herman, and it's nice to know that somebody of her stature is so nice. You know,
She's a doll.
was there a lot of competitiveness within? I know in LA, there was definitely like a clique of people and very difficult, apparently, to break into the clique. I don't know because I never really went that route, but I heard about that.
Well, oddly enough, in Chicago, my experience has been the ladies were and the guys are especially helpful for me.
Yeah.
A number of the singers who were first call or second call as I entered into that industry, whenever they couldn't make a gig, there was lots of work going around.
Yeah.
They would always recommend me and do it sincerely. They were very helpful. Bonnie, of course, was one of them, and so many other singers that would just say, call her, she could do it. And so that competitiveness was something I did not experience in our little group there anyway. As long as they were helpful and really nice. Really nice people.
Yeah, that's really great.
Mm-hmm.
So, and did you say you wrote jingles too, or?
Right? No.
Okay, you just sang.
I just sang them.
Yeah. That's kind of a whole other, probably painful career, I'm thinking.
And you would be right. You would be right.
Yeah. So getting back to the jazz stuff. So, so you were, let's see, I'm just curious how coming up in the Chicago jazz scene was there a very solid group of, let's say, straight ahead players, or were there, obviously there was blues influence in Chicago, and was there a more modern influence as well? I know there's the Chicago, there's talking about the newer style, or when I say newer style, I mean kind of a little bit avant-garde. There's definitely some avant-garde in Chicago as well. But what was your involvement?
There was a very vibrant jazz scene. There were trios all over the place. And it was fun when I got to work with not only a larger group, but the trios too. You could really stretch out, when you're with a trio. Yeah. And there were any number of wonderful rhythm sections in Chicago. There's an amazingly deep pool of very, very talented musicians in Chicago, and that was a great boon for me. That I learned a lot from them. And I'm sorry.
Okay.
So there was a lot of that going on, and at that time too, a lot of visiting artists came in. Great artists. There's a whole list of them, and I got to sing with some of them. But you know what? All I can tell you is that there was a lot going on. It was very heavily supported, and people loved it. And hopefully we'll get back to that after all this is over. But,
were you still working quite a bit before the COVID happened?
Not as much as I would have liked to, but enough, for the stuff that I was doing. Yeah. But I wasn't super busy.
Mm-hmm.
So
I do remember some friends who you may know, a pianist named Bradley Young.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I think I worked with Bradley Young at some point down the line. Yeah. He's still doing work. He was until, everything is stopped. But yes, he's still very active.
Yeah, we talked on, I invited him on the show, and because he lives here now, but he was I think he said like 10 years he was going back and forth, living in Chicago for a month or two, and then coming back to LA. And yeah, I know. And how about Paulino Garcia?
Oh yeah, I have never met him, but I have definitely heard of him, and I've heard him play. Yeah, I never had the pleasure of meeting him, but I definitely know of him. Yes.
Yeah, he's lovely too, and I know he did very well in Chicago.
Yes.
Yeah. So let's see. Um, you scat, obviously. You've been scatting for a long time, right?
Not as much as I would have liked to. Um, yeah, but it's something I've always enjoyed doing. It's always something I heard, that needed to come out, and the opportunities did increase. I've had more opportunities, but mostly, when you're working with, it depends on the group and the audience. Some are accepting of that, and it's appropriate to do that. Other times, it's you're going to get these looks like, "The hell are you saying?" That type of thing. You're, huh? But depends. So.
Well, in Bette Midler's words, F-U-C-K them if they can't make a joke.
Yes.
Bette Midler's great words.
One of my mantras, yeah. So I can wholeheartly agree.
Let's listen to some more stuff. Now, I'm just going to share the screen so people can see what I'm looking at here. And let me get my screen out a little bit here. And so why don't you tell us about this? Is this the cover? This is the cover of the latest record.
It is the cover, right? Yes.
Mm-hmm. Why don't you tell us about this record?
Okay. Well, I had done a CD about 10 years ago at the urging of a jingle producer I used to work a lot for. His name was Dick Boyle.
Yeah.
And he would submit songs to me. He would call me and hammer me and say, "When are you going to do a CD? When are you going to do blah, 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 all this?" "Oh, yeah, okay, I'm going to start." Well, I finally did start, but it took me forever to finish it. And when I did, I realized then that, I'd like to do another one, but I want to do something with a big band. I love big orchestrations. I had heard 2 CDs that really rang my bell. One of them was called At Long Last, and the arranger on that was Carrie Deadman. And the other one was called Everything I Love by Carol March. And they were 2 gorgeously orchestrated CDs. And I thought, that's what I want to do. So I contacted Carrie, and he's a very, very busy guy. And it took a long time for us to really, get together and decide how and what we were going to do. But even at that time, I had songs in mind that I wanted to do. So that was the beginning of it. And as we went along, some strange things began to happen. I kept losing my voice and wondering, what is this? And coughing and coughing, coughing. Make a long story short, after so many months of going through this and blowing sessions, when we finally were able to get a group of that size together, and then I couldn't go because I had no voice. And then by the time my voice came back, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, it turned out that I had toxic mold in my master bath, right? Huh. By that time, it was just incredible. Who would have thunk it? And that had to be remediated. So by the time that was all done, and by the time my voice came back, there was another delay, during that time. This is my tale of woe. You asked. Are you glad you asked?
Well, it's interesting. I think people don't see this part. They just see the finished product. So I think it's inspirational to know, especially a hard story that I had hard stuff happen, and I got through it, and I came out smelling great, Yeah,
it was just one crazy thing after another. I mean, I broke a tooth. And for some reason, they couldn't fix it correctly. It took about a year. In the meantime, every time I would try to do a session, I sounded like Daffy Duck. That wasn't going to work. And that added to the delay. And what I'm trying to say is that all of this, many other crazy things that happened, concluding with COVID, we finally managed to get through it. But the process, whenever we did have successful sessions, was just thrilling for me, because you do a scratch vocal, right, with a trio, and of course it's fun, but then when you hear the orchestration, there's a whole other kind of inspirational thing happening, and you hear other things, and that was just such fun for me to hear all these other things that I wanted to do. So consequently, I would say, this is not final vocal. I want to try this. I kind of want to try this. So all of this together was just a ridiculously long time to finish the CD, but we did it. And here you have it.
Okay, well, this is exciting. So I believe, ladies and gentlemen, as you know, sometimes I have a little trouble with the authorities here, so because they can take me down. But we believe that this is okay because Josie controls this CD herself. So I love You Must Believe in Spring. I mean, probably I love it, all of this stuff. But what song should I listen to?
Oh, God, okay. Well, God, they're all so beautifully orchestrated. Probably, maybe A Flower Is Love Something. It's a song I've always loved. And the piano player, Jeremy Kahn, is the one who said, have you heard this song? And I said, no, actually, I haven't heard it.
Yes, go ahead.
And, so that's how that came into being.
Gorgeous song, isn't it? Just such a great song. Yeah.
Super in every way.
Yeah. Really beautiful song. All right. So we're going to hear Josie Falbo from her record, You Must Believe in Spring. And this is A Flower Is a Lovesome Thing. And pretty exciting. Okay. So here we go.
A flower is a lovesome thing, a luscious, living lovesome thing, a daffodil, a rose, no matter where it grows, such a lovely, lovesome thing. A flower is the heart of spring that makes the rolling hillside sing. The gentle winds that blow gently, for they know a flower is a lovesome thing. Playing in the breeze, swaying with the trees, azaleas drinking pale moonbeams, gardenias floating through daydreams. Wherever they may grow, no matter where you go, a flower is a lovesome thing. Playing in the breeze, swaying with the trees. In the silent night or in the morning light, such a miracle. Azaleas drinking pale moonbeams, gardenias floating through daydreams. Wherever they may grow, no matter where you go, a flower is a love song, a love something.
Really beautiful.
Thank you.
Wow. That is great. And you killed my friend. He said you're killing him.
Oh
you, you got a lot of beautiful comments. Yeah.
no.
Yeah. So, wow, that is really beautiful. You really knew that song. And,
I'd never heard it before. I don't know. I could have missed it because, I listened to a lot of Ella.
yeah.
And if it weren't for Jeremy, and when I am looking for some, a couple of things to add to the CD. And he said, Jose, listen, have you heard this one? Listen, and I said, where have I been? Where have I been? Gorgeous. Yeah.
Yeah. It's really a beautiful song. Yeah, that was really beautiful. Your voice, it's got this center to it it's like a hard candy with a chocolate center. It's got a center to it. It's really beautiful. And your range is really beautiful, and everywhere in your range you have these beautiful resonances that are unique. And I heard a little bit of the bluesy thing come in at the bottom, and really quite beautiful.
Thank you, Cathy. Thank you. That's really wonderful. I'm flabbergasted.
Oh. So when was this released, actually? Was it really recently?
It was September 25th.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I actually didn't realize that it was released so recently.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay. And
finally,
yeah.
that day, but yeah.
And are you, is this for sale on platforms? And
it is. It's for sale on my website, which is josiefalbo.net.
Okay.
It's for sale on Amazon.com and digitally downloadable on iTunes and Spotify.
Yeah.
And I may be missing something, but I think that's it. That may be it.
Yeah, those are kind of the main guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's quite really beautiful. I know at least several people listening who are probably going to go buy it.
Yay! Thank you in advance.
And have you stepped into the looking for reviewers and radio?
Yes.
Have you
Well, there's been a number of wow, wonderful reviews.
Oh, great.
I'm reeling from wow, they've been great, and I'm supremely grateful to Kate Smith and Ralph Lemkin. I mean, they have been, they submit them, and then it's up to people, if they like it or not, to
Yeah.
implement or not.
Yes.
I understand that. So it's been it's been great. I can't stop smiling, to be honest with you. But yeah, it's been great.
That's nice. It's nice to, I mean, we don't live or die from it, but it is really nice to be acknowledged, for a lifetime of work, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
And just as my other CD was going to be like a legacy. I mean, I really had no great expectations of it or for it. It was a legacy of love and it was a work of love, an oeuvre of love. And I really had no great expectations of it. I know how crazy this business can be, Something could happen, and most likely something won't, but say la vie, say like or whatever. What other little trite European saying could I say? But anyway.
Well, it's, I mean, we all know that the business has changed so dramatically and is changing. I think I was saying this yesterday to somebody, that I feel like it's on the cusp of something new that is going to happen for us as we put our music out.
Mhm.
It's certainly not really selling CDs, right? I mean, that's, in fact, my girlfriend sent me, oh man, this rock and roll guy who's, I mean, really good, and he's played with a lot of big people. He spent $50,000 on his CD, and he came on and he was really adorable. He said, "I'm not embarrassed to say I sold 3." And then so he was giving them away with some kind of little thing. But it's definitely, it's just a different time. It's
Oh boy, is it ever?
we can't stop doing it though.
You're so right, Cathy. Yeah, just can't. Someone said, when did you know you wanted to be a singer? And honestly, I can't remember when I didn't want to be a singer. I mean,
Yeah.
I did have a lot of encouragement from my family and friends and various musician friends and everything, but no one had to encourage me. It just felt like this is who I am. I am, therefore I am a singer. So there was no two ways about it,
Yeah.
So whatever changes are happening, I'm going to roll along with them, I guess. Like I have a choice,
How about any family members? Does any family members, I don't know if you had children or not, but any family members musical?
You know what? Yes. My mom was not trained, but she had a natural gift. She had a very pretty, high, little reedy voice, and my sister also had a great voice, and my older sister, and I understand that she was singing on the radio when she was a child. She was sort of called a phenomenon.
Oh.
To have a big voice. They used to call her the little girl with the big voice. And so she was an accomplished singer, and she was thrilled whenever she sang. I would sing harmony with her. And she, hey, yeah. We did a lot of that. And I had a cousin who was a wonderful singer who sang semi-professionally. And my godmother, who lived upstairs, was also a very wonderful singer, had a great voice. So I was kind of surrounded by music and music lovers.
Yeah.
It wasn't all that unusual for me to start chirping, at a young age. So.
Right. So, are you singing at all right now? Are you doing any little projects with people or anything like that happening online or anything like that?
A couple of things. I sing at church every Sunday at the cantor.
Oh, okay.
At a church in Chicago, and it's the church that was attached to this grammar school I went to. It's in the near West Side, Our Lady of Pompeii, and it was all Italian immigrants who built that little church. and who also were mostly students at that little school. And so I've been there for a long time. And if you would have told me, so many years ago, you're going to be singing in church, I would have laughed.
Really?
Heartily. But strange turn of events, how I got back into church and started singing there, and actually I'm having a great time doing it.
Now, why do you say you would have laughed? I mean, because your head was so not into being in a church?
I was a super lapsed. I was brought up Catholic.
Yeah.
And for a number of reasons, I lapsed from the Catholic Church, and I had nothing to do with it. And when I was asked to sing at one of our reunions, and I kind of balked at it because I had been away so long. I don't know the first thing about a Catholic Mass anymore. I don't know where in the tarnation I'm supposed to sing. So make a long story short, they convinced me to do it, and the accompanist there called me after that about 2 months in a row, calling me, come, we need a cantor. Come and sing. And even though I said, I'm not familiar with this anymore, it's just not part of my life. Well, he wore me down. And I went, and I've been singing there ever since, and I'm glad I did.
So what was it difficult getting back into it?
It was kind of like, oh God, am I supposed to sing this now or later? Or give me a list, give me step 1, step 2, step 3. But of course, it's like anything. Yeah, the more you do it, then you become familiar with it, and it's second nature now.
Yeah.
But that was about the only thing I'm doing now. There's a couple of things. I sing with a choral group called the Lakeside Singers. Oh. And he has been putting together a wonderful streaming. He just did it, streamed one of our concerts, because needless to say, we can't do our concerts. We usually do about 5 concerts a year, in which I do several solos. So there was singing involved with that. And that was a really, really fun experience. We all sang our part here, in our houses. And then he put the whole thing together. And I can't tell you how amazing it was. It just was great. Yay, I'm singing with my buds again,
Cool.
And, yeah. So
the Lakeside Singers. And so is that something that we can actually see?
Oh, sure. There's a website, lakesidesingers.com. We've been in existence for 20 years, and there's lots of stuff on the website.
Wow.
And of course, the show can be linked. There's a link to what he just put on this, what he's just streamed, that our little concert. And so yeah, there you can check it out. There you are. There we are. Yeah.
Right here. And did you say what you did recently? You have?
Yes, he put that Behind the Mask together. A benefit.
Right. Oh.
Yeah. He put that together with all of us contributing our little parts, and he and his other techno genius guy put it together and presented that, and it turned out really great.
I'm curious. I'd kind of like to see that. I'm gonna. Well, actually, I'd receive an email, so that might take a while. Well, could I listen to one of these or?
Sure. I think if you click on one of those, you'll be able to hear some of it. It's some of the stuff we did. It's a really eclectic group. We sing opera and rock, jazz, R&B. It's everything, and everything you can possibly want. All these singers are all
the size of the group.
There's 25 in the group. They're all professional singers from various genres. There's opera singers, there's jazz singers, all kinds, and they all kind of blend and learn from one another and do all this variety of music.
Sorry, what did you say?
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, I said that the 25 professional singers from various genres, and so we do all this different variety of music, and we learn from each other and how to produce this authentic sound for that particular genre. And we have great fun. That's why there is such a plethora of different kinds of music that we do. And so something for everyone, I guess.
Are you in this group right here?
Yeah. Am I in there? I might have been sick. It might have been one of the times I was coughing my brains out. Who knows? I can't.
They sound absolutely beautiful.
They're great singers. Oh my God, the talent in this group. It's amazing.
Beautiful sound.
But this is just a small sampling of what they do. I mean,
Yeah.
we rock out too.
You what?
We rock out
Oh,
too.
yeah.
Yeah. So.
But Rock My Soul is not one of those, or is it?
Well, it's a gospel kind of thing, and it's when I do a duet with the guy. If that's the Rock My Soul, or is it? Yeah, I don't even know. He's so tall and I'm so short. It looks like he's doing a solo.
Oh, wow! He's huge, way taller than you. Wow. Cool. Oh, that was great. Awesome. Oh, wow. Yeah, he was quite a bit taller than you, huh?
He's a great bass. He's got, boy, his voice comes from his toes.
Yeah. Beautiful. And the timing of the group is amazing, and intonation, because it was a cappella, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
They're all pros. They're a great group. They're playing that. That was nice. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. It's great. Yeah. Well, let's see what now these, I'm very casual with these conversations. So I'm going to look that, oh yeah. So also you have sung background for, it looks like a lot of big people, just from your website, I guess. This is Celine Dion, Michael Jackson, Richard Marx, Earth, Wind and Fire, Michael Bolton, Ben Vereen, Vic Damone, Nancy Wilson, Dennis DeYoung of Styx, Loleatta Holloway, James Durst, Yolanda Adams, Della, Reese and Mavis Staples. Wow.
Well, I don't know how Earth, Wind and Fire got in there. I mean, I only wish.
Okay, I'll take that out.
Maybe in my dreams, I did.
Well, the other people aren't too shabby either.
No, oh my gosh, they were wonderful. Celine Dion was super to sing behind, and she never missed a note. When we were in our dressing room waiting, and they were piping her show into the dressing room so we could see where we were in the show. And we're just listening to her sing. And we're all pros, they're all jingle singers, which intonation is really of utmost importance in that work. we were listening to her and we go, holy cow, is that a recording? Is she doing that live? She never missed a note. She was incredible and very nice, very down to earth, very down to earth. Yeah, those are great, wonderful people, and they were all nice. I would have loved to have met Della Reese, but the track was already recorded, so we just sang back.
Oh, okay.
Would have loved to have met her.
But did you sing in larger groups for some of these people, or small background stuff?
Yeah, we're backgrounds, oohs and ahs and blah, 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 whatever the words were, that we got to sing. Yeah, there was no solo work. We were just backgrounds.
Yeah.
I was happy to be.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So looking at your career, is there something that really stood out for you, like that was super? Well, I'm sure there was more than one thing, but I don't know, something that you might just remember right now while we're talking, something that really stood out, or
God,
don't want to put you on the spot.
No, I'm trying to think if there's one thing. I mean, there probably are. Oh gosh, Cathy, there's been so many wonderful things that, I wish I could think of one of them, but I know that I've been supremely happy in doing what I've been doing, and so very grateful. But give me a minute, maybe something will come to mind right now. Oh, that's awful when that happens.
Well, how about the other way? How about something that was like, oh my God, I hope that never happens again?
Well, there's a couple of things.
See, you remember that stuff.
Couple of things. One of them was I was singing with the Lakeside Singers, actually, and we were going on stage. I was going to do 2 solos in a row. And I don't know what in the sandhill happened, but going down the stairs, I did something to my right knee. And unbeknownst to me at the time, the meniscus was torn to shreds, and it was so incredibly painful. But I was determined, to just grit my teeth and do it. We're going up on stage, I've got to do it. So I wound up singing 2 solos. They were hard R&B, straight ahead things, on one leg like a flamingo, because I could not put any weight on my right knee. And to this day, I don't even know how I hobbled, off the stage after our little bit that we did.
Wow.
That was so scary because I didn't think I would make it through. And I probably should have just said, Bob, go someone else sing it or do something, because I'm not going to be able to do this. But as a result of because I did that, I even damaged it even more, and I required surgery. So that's not a story. God. Things happen. So
yeah.
That was not fun.
I also remember, I remember this one gig that I had. I was the token American singer here in LA for this Russian group. And they got a gig, for New Year's Eve for 500 Jewish Latinos.
What?
And I mean, this group was Russian music. That's what they played.
Oh my Lord.
So anyway, like we'd play a Latin song and then someone would come up and say, could we hear something Latin? And the only thing they had in common was the Jewish music, right? And I wanted to be home in bed so badly. That was the worst one. One of the worst gigs that I never forgot that. As a matter of fact, like thinking about I guess I could think of 1 or 2 really nice gigs, but the bad ones kind of stick with you.
I do remember one other thing that was funny. I was singing with a well-known band at the time. Segal-Garcia, I think was the name of it. Still in existence. I was just starting out, and I never heard that Vicky, but I was asked someone came up to the bandstand and said, could you please sing Misty? Sure. Okay. So I told the leader, yes, I'll sing Misty. It's fine.
Yeah.
I sang it my way. This is what I'm telling you. When you sing jazz, you know how some people don't know what the sandhill's going on. So I did sing it, and he came up to me 10 minutes later and he said, when are you going to sing Misty? Okay. So the leader comes up to me and he said, Josie, sing the melody this time, okay? Whatever. Okay.
I had a gig like that too. I worked with Billy Childs, who's now he's a very kind of genius,
Yes.
orchestrator, jazz guy, and I think it was who was it on bass, or it was Tony Dumas, who's also a very progressive player. And we did a gig at this little place called the Money Tree, which was, it was a restaurant, Anyway, so we did all standards, but afterwards the report to the owner was that we didn't play anything recognizable. And we played all night and we played only standards. So it was, it's pretty funny.
Yeah, I can relate.
But will that stop us from getting outside of the melody? No.
Hello. Well,
So-
just like Bette Midler said, right?
Exactly.
But I want people to be happy, and I'll do my best. But sometimes it's just I'm beyond understanding, But
Yeah.
there you go.
Well, my friend Roland reminds me of a question that sometimes I ask. Was there a record that you wore out, that you had to replace, or?
Wow. Well, I really gave a good workout to all of my records, and I'm trying to think of one in particular that I may have worn out. It might have been a Frank Sinatra, "Come Fly with Me." That particular.
I remember that record.
Yeah. I loved the orchestration. Oh, and the other one was another Sinatra one, "Only the Lonely."
Oh,
Those
yeah.
two, yeah. And you know what? There's one more I know that I played a lot. It
No.
was a Sarah Vaughan album, and it's the one in which she sings. Oh shoot, I can't think of the title. It's cannot think of the title. Those three in particular.
Yeah.
I did the heck out of them. Yes.
It took me until college to hear Sarah Vaughan. And I mean, I grew up with jazz, but I guess my dad didn't have Sarah Vaughan. And so what did I know? I was just growing up in his house, But
Well, my sister had some really great records. 78s she had, and she had something to play them on too. And I remember not exactly understanding, but they stuck with me. And I found out later who they were. One of them was Spike Jones, that she played a lot of. Do you remember? Have you ever heard of Spike Jones's band?
Absolutely.
Oh, okay. And what was the other one that she played a lot? I think it was someone named Vaughn Monroe. I think it might.
Oh, yes, that's right.
Vaughn Monroe, yeah. And one other album that I fell in love with and played over, and my mom even loved it, even though none of us could understand what she was saying, but it wasn't her language, was Miriam Makeba.
Yeah.
And it was super, super beautiful album that she had that I played the heck out of too. Yeah.
Were you into, like, during the 70s, were you into the whole rock and R&B and funk?
And not so much rock. I mean, and there was some of it that I liked, but mostly R&B probably, and the funkier things, yeah.
Yeah. One of my records that I wore out was Marvin Gaye's "What's Going On."
Oh, yeah.
Played the crap out of that.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Super. Oh, that was
Yeah.
great.
We grew up in a really abundant musical time. You know, there was such great music. For my last project, I was looking in that whole period of time for songs, and it was hard to come up with just a handful because there was so much great music going on. God, it really just traveled with us through our lives, you know.
You know, there's another CD too that I wanted that I loved, and my little guy, who was a baby at the time, whenever he heard this particular song, the album was Chuck Mangioni's album, the one he does.
Yeah.
Um,
Da 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 da.
Yeah, that's the one. And the other one was something of the Song of Sanchez, I think, was on the second album.
Oh.
So beautiful. And whenever I played that, my little guy would cry. Tears. I mean,
oh
yeah, it was so it just touched him emotionally. It was so beautiful.
Oh
yeah, and it was, you know, two great albums, but that other one, the first one with da 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 da, neither of us could think of the title, right?
No. But we remembered the song, you know.
The melody.
As soon as you say Chuck Mangione, I think of that song, because that must have been a huge hit for him.
Oh, it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
It certainly was. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and how about traveling? Have you traveled in your career?
You know, very little. I traveled to a couple of places to do jingles. I think I went to Indianapolis a few times, and maybe that's it. I really didn't travel. I traveled with a couple of bands out of town, not anywhere far. I don't even think we ever got to New York. We may have gotten to Detroit, Michigan, but we got lost.
Along the way?
The bus driver who was driving couldn't. What I understand is it's built on a circle, or it's a circular kind of.
Oh, yeah.
And we just kept going around that circle. I mean, I'm happy to be able to tell you this story today because I didn't think we'd ever make it. But no, I really have stayed pretty much close to home, Cathy. Really haven't gone that far. Mm-mm.
Yeah, well, that's kind of
if COVID ever
lucky for
ends,
you.
and I hope that maybe, you know, these jazz festivals start happening again.
Yeah.
I'm hoping I get invited to one to sing.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I'd love to sing again, you know, like really, really sing. Well, you know.
Yeah. Well, maybe see, I'm pretty sure I saw Ralph in January at the Jazz Congress in New York.
Oh.
So that's it's like a convention for jazz reviewers and radio people.
Oh, okay.
But musicians go there as well. But so much fun. It's just like a big party. It's a big party for a few days, you know, and it's all about jazz, and you see people you know, and you see people that you'd like to know, and it's really fun. It's a great time.
I have gone to LA, but it wasn't to sing. It was, they had what they called at the time, it may still be in existence, called the Society of Singers.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Familiar with that?
Yeah, sure.
And they had a recipient of the award each year. Well, a bunch of us jingle singers were invited to go. Well, we were members. We were members of the Society of Singers. So, of course, we were invited to go. And the recipient that year was Frank Sinatra.
Oh.
So we got there and surrounded by celebratory royalty. You know, there's stars,
imagine,
singers, and standing next to Sid Charisse in the ladies' room, and you know, I'm like this, mouth open, and absolutely gorgeous, and sitting next to a lot of famous people. Who were still in existence at that time, you know, movie stars, and Ella Fitzgerald was there.
Oh.
I got to see her from a distance, and I wasn't about to go up to her, Miss Fitzgerald, no. But at the end of the program, it was just wonderful. I was starstruck, of course. At the end of the show, we got up. Frank Sinatra invited us all the singers, to go up on stage and sing his theme song with him. So I got up enough nerve to go up there on the stage with a bunch of us little jingle singers, and I stood about 4 feet away from him. Wow.
You could feel the vibes.
I could say I sang with Frank Sinatra. Manner of speaking. Oh, it was just so thrilling. And he turned around and would look at us, and smile. And I was just beyond thrilled.
Yeah.
That was a great, wonderful night. I have about 4 pages of stuff, remembrances to write down that I had written down. Whom I had seen, whom I bumped into.
Wow.
That type of thing.
Yeah.
But seeing him, I had seen him perform live maybe 3 or 4 times, but actually be on stage singing with him.
Such a great feeling.
Yeah. Wonderful.
Yeah. I've sung with people of that stature a little bit on stage together with somebody. And yeah, it's definitely, feels like a completely different moment, because those people are they're from a really particular moment in history where their abilities were different than ours, right?
Mm-hmm.
They could act and sing and dance and, and they were renowned and,
right.
Yeah, it's really thrilling. It really is thrilling.
Oh, to say the least.
Yeah.
When you were asking me about, various things that happened that stuck in my mind, I don't know how I could have forgotten that. Because when he turned around and smiled at me, my hair went straight up. And I was like, first time it was straight. I had to straighten it all my life. All I had to do was be next to Sinatra. But he was just...
I've heard that there's a wonderful documentary on him.
Oh, there is?
That's out right now, yeah. Uh-huh.
Oh.
One of my friends saw it, and she said it was wonderful.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Do you know what it's called? Is it like...
No, but I'm sure it has his name.
I'll look for
right?
it.
Yeah.
I'll look for it online.
I know what you mean about the hair standing up, though, because when I first came to LA, I was a waitress at a famous jazz club called Dante's. And at that time, Clint Eastwood was hanging around the jazz clubs a lot. And I was doing something at the bar, and somebody kind of talked to me from above, and I looked up and it was Clint Eastwood. And I had never really thought about Clint Eastwood before. I wasn't, a super fan. But when I looked up and he was so friggin' gorgeous,
Oh, yeah.
my knees literally gave away. It was a good thing I had the bar there, because my knees literally gave away.
Oh, I can imagine. Yeah. In his heyday, he was, whoa.
Gorgeous. Yeah. Yeah.
Baby blue eyes.
Oh, man.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, he's a super big jazz fan, and he has
That's right. Yeah. I had forgotten about that.
Yeah, he has a restaurant and a kind of a hotel up in like Santa Cruz. I think it's Santa Cruz or slightly in that area, Monterey, somewhere in that area.
Uh-huh.
And it's really interesting because the piano player, I don't know if this guy still works there, but the piano player who worked there, he was a really interesting guy. You would have found him really interesting. He actually at the time was writing music for Clint's movies, because I forget who it was, but the real big main jazz guy first it was him who wrote all the music for his movies. Then I think he died, and then this guy took over in an interim. But he was one of those piano players. He was Russian too, and he was one of those piano players who knew every song, whatever style, right? And people would sit in, all kinds of people, good, bad, and indifferent, and it was kind of a crowded lounge area, and then it went on to the restaurant. But what a scene that was. And Clint, that was Clint's guy, he loved that guy.
Wow.
And he was a great jazz player.
Jazz fan. He's a real great jazz fan.
Yeah.
Eastwood. Clint, I call him by his first name, like Clint,
I've never actually met his son, but of course he's a wonderful bassist, I think, right?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember his first name. I don't know. I have to Google it. Unless Roland happens to know Roland. Yeah. So I also saw another great movie, which you might be interested in seeing, and other people. I had the producers of this movie, or the filmmakers, who are friends of mine. She's a singer. He's a great pianist. And they made a movie over the last 4 years of Dave Grusin. And so it's called grusinfilm.com. And I saw it a few nights ago, and it was wonderful. I mean, Dave Grusin.
Yeah. What a loss, huh?
Yeah. He just, he had so much going on. And yeah, he did so many beautiful, incredible things. Oh, Roland, Clint Eastwood's son. That's who I want to know. I think he's a bass player.
So he plays in the group then, right? Do you know?
He's actually like pretty successful bass player.
Wow.
Kyle Eastwood. I think that's
I think you're right. Yeah, I think it is Kyle.
Yeah. So, yeah. Anyway, Roland, that's who I was checking up on. I was kind of trying to remember his name, but I'm pretty sure it's Kyle.
I think it's Kyle. It sounds, it sounds like, I think that's what I heard. Yeah.
Yeah. So, you got it. That is correct. Wow, COVID brain didn't take over entirely. So, I'm wondering who you listen to now. Who are some of the people, the musicians or singers that you listen to?
Needless to say, I listen to a lot of not only singers but musicians too. Just recently, for instance, I was listening to Toots Thielemans, whom I love, and who singers like I got in a little desire to hear more of Anita O'Day things lately. I loved her too, and there's who's the guy I was just listening to? Oh, I was listening to, he actually played on my CD and he passed away. And he's a wonderful Chicago sax player. Beautiful, beautiful guy too. Wonderful man. His name was Mark Colby, and very, very well known in Chicago and all over actually. He was a very, very good friend of Stan Getz, whom I also loved. But I was listening to a lot of his stuff, and he played a really couple of beautiful solos on my CD, and it was so saddened not to be able to, send it to him and say, here you are. This is the finished product. But yeah, there's another group that I've always loved. It was called the Art Farmer Benny Golson Sextet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And there were a lot of songs that I really loved there. One of them was 2 Degrees East, 3 Degrees West. These are kind of old jazz, albums, but they're good today too,
Yeah.
Every now and then I resurrect them and enjoy them all over again.
Yeah.
There's a beautiful Quincy Jones album. And he wrote a gorgeous song that I always thought I would love to put lyrics to. It was called Quintessence.
Oh yeah, that's a beautiful song.
Isn't that beautiful?
Beautiful.
I wish it had lyrics because I'd love to sing it. And
you should write lyrics.
Well, yeah, I wrote. I haven't written a whole lot of songs. They're in the kind of trite vein, maybe. Maybe I'm being a little hard on myself. But one song I think was okay, and one of them actually that I wrote in collaboration. I wrote the melody, and two other singer friends of mine helped me with the lyrics because I couldn't think of one blessed word for it. But anyway, it won a Billboard R&B award.
Oh.
When the heck was it? Oh gosh, it was 1989, maybe 88, 89, something like that. And the prize wasn't all that wonderful, but it was just great to get an award for songwriting.
Yeah.
It's on my other CD. It's on my first CD.
Oh yeah, you had your quotes were from your first CD too, right? Like
I'm sorry.
Some of the quotes that I took off your website looked like they were about that CD.
That could very well be. Yeah, I don't. That might be. Well, I don't know that I haven't seen what you said or what you wrote, but that could very well be. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's see. It says Falbo intermittently roars like a lioness and scats like a stickball bouncing down Taylor Street.
My goodness. Oh, yeah, that is from the first CD, yeah.
Well, here's an incredible one. Stunning, astonishing, a revelation. Wow.
Oh, God. I think that was Rick Cogan.
Yes.
Yeah, he's been wonderful to me. He's very, very well loved, very well known in Chicago area, Tribune columnist and journalist. And
yeah. Well, Brad Walseth had a gorgeous one too. Breathtaking vocal talents, hair-raising vocal performance.
Oh my God.
Powerful and chill-inducing.
Oh boy. Good grief. That's the first, that was a long time ago, but yes, thank you for reminding me. It brings me back. I'm very happy to hear that again.
Should we take a listen to Taylor Street, or is it on here?
Sure, you could hear Taylor Street. It should be on there. Yeah, there's, let's see. There's a bunch of stuff on there, but let's see. That should be on there.
This one?
But you want to hear the song I wrote? It's called Love Found Me. Yeah, it's down. If you scroll down, there it is. Love Found Me, up just above the very thought of you.
Oh, okay, great.
And it's not really jazz. It's more in the art, but it won in the R&B thing, so R&B category. A winner.
Cool.
Used to go to every movie, nothing else to do. Read myself to sleep to keep from feeling blue. Oh, memorizing lines of a love song, searching for a clue, hoping I could find someone like you. Love found me just in time, dried my tears, chased my fears away. Your love has changed my life forever, brightened every day. Our love is here.
Well, that's a kind of a far cry from your jazz singing,
Yes, it is.
and fabulous. I mean, wow.
Well, it's been a long time since I heard it. So, wow, I had forgotten how dramatic that was, but anyway.
Great
Well,
song.
well, thank you.
Yeah, you're killing Roland again.
I am, oh no.
He was already dead, and now you killed him again.
Oh no. You have first aid there?
He'll survive. He'll get back up. Yeah, Roland. I know she can do anything. She's really an amazing, talented artist. Yes,
Thank you.
really fantastic.
Thank you, Cathy.
When did that record come out?
Oh, so 10 years ago, I think.
Oh,
10 or 9 years ago.
uh-huh.
Yeah. So the my friend Joni Pilato is the owner of the Southport label, and she said in response to Rick Cogan when they were talking about me, and he said, "Why does she take so long to do? Why is there such a big gap of time in between CDs?" And Joni said, "Well, Josie, what's the hurry? She's on take your time, And I guess it's true. I just kind of go along and, I think I'll do another one now, but never any urgency. Just when, the spirit moves me, and that's it.
Yeah, I kind of understand that. I mean, although I've been, I've had a bunch of CDs come out, but that again, I think it's just, however, yeah, but I think it's just how your life, whatever your life does, you know what I mean?
You're right, Cathy.
I mean, obviously we've talked a little bit about competition. Really, there's not really competition. Really doesn't exist. It's like, because it's always about your own path.
Yeah.
So you can't compare yourself to somebody else, because it has nothing to do with reality. It's totally about yourself.
Exactly. It's your vision. It's your expression, and it's totally unique. I mean, and that kind of uniqueness, there's no way you can compare. And so I agree with you. Yeah,
I've had lessons along the way. And luckily, a long time ago, I, had some very solid lessons regarding that. And after that, it was good, because I'm always a person who has thought that I create my own reality. And so those people around me, who are my friends, are reflections of me. Mm-hmm. Right. And so when they win something that I don't win, I am winning, because they're part of me. So I am winning when they are winning. I don't have to personally have it in my own space. And that's really saved my point of view a lot over the years, because, where other people get really upset inside, and, and it affects their lives and careers, and
it's such a waste of time, waste of energy.
It is, right?
And you nailed it. And I feel very much, my feelings are very similar to those that you just said we're talking about.
Yeah.
I feel great. I'm happy when one of my friends, a singer who has achieved something wonderful, I'm truly, truly happy and great and proud of them, because like you said, it's a reflection of me too. So, I have a part in that,
Exactly.
No, I guess there's a little bit of selfishness in there too. Well, what the heck? Nobody's perfect.
I don't know. I mean, it's pride, but it's in an interesting way, because it's pride. It's a kind of a sharing pride or something, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. I kind of want to play more of the your new CD.
Okay.
because it's just so beautiful.
I'm so thrilled that that you did this. I appreciate it very much. Thank you. And
You're
just
welcome.
having my CD played, and it's wonderful. Thank you. Very
Well,
grateful.
it's an honor. It really is an honor because, as I said, I mean, now I know even more that it's an honor. But even in the beginning, when I saw what you had done and what you were involved with and heard you sing, I knew that you were, you were a total pro. And so,
I've been doing it a long time.
yeah. But, now after speaking with you, I feel even more that it's an honor because I can really see that it's been, you have been committed for all your life to this.
Well, that is true. That's a good word for it. Committed. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's interesting. I've done, I don't remember exactly what number you are. Let's see. I'm going to tell you what number you are in my little, my thing here. Let's see. 156, 156, 157, 58, 59, 160, 161. You are 162 as far as my guest goes.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Because at first I was doing it 6 days a week for months. I just slowed down like 2 weeks ago to 3 days a week. And and it's been absolutely fascinating. In fact, I think I'm going to actually write a book about my observations about everybody because, people have suggested various things. And I really want to be aware of what I want to do right now. I don't want to go after. I have a tendency to get involved in stuff, and go in and do stuff. But I really want to do what I like, right now. Mm-hmm. So I think reviewing each episode and writing down what my feeling is and observations. I think I'm going to make that into a book. But anyway, what I was going to say was
good. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But and I've said this before, but I'll tell you because I haven't told you before. But I just talking to everybody gives me a real, again, it kind of gives me a pride being like a member of the tribe of individuals that have created this gift of music to the planet, and there's nobody that music hasn't touched. It's just absolutely overwhelming and wonderful. Mm-hmm. So that's how I'm feeling about it. I'm really, I just love speaking to people and finding out, where your perspective is and how you came along. And especially I love when somebody's obviously committed and how that commitment presents itself, Mm-hmm. I just think it's such value to humans.
Well, it's obvious that you have a love for it and a knack for drawing things out of people. I mean, that's you do that very well. And above all, I mean, for instance, in my case, you made me feel very comfortable. I have a tendency to get kind of nervous, and to be talking about myself is not. You may feel the same way. It's not easy. I don't want to.
Yeah.
It's difficult, for me to, and I thank you for putting me at my ease so that I'm not speaking gibberish. I am actually speaking English and incoherent sentences. I'm not letting my nerves take over. So I thank you for that. You do an act for it, and it's a sincere kind of a sincere feeling I get from you. So
thanks. Thank you. I'm glad. Really glad. Let's see. So I'm going to listen again because I just think it's just crazy good. And let's see. So, what song should I play?
Well, you have, let's see.
These are all the songs, right? All
Right,
the
right. How about, oh, geez, they have, how about Just You, Just Me? If I don't see it, but it should be in You Must Believe in Spring.
Huh. Yeah, I don't see it either.
Sleep and Be, Keep Going, Night in Tunisia. They have them all mixed up together.
Let me see if I put that on Just You, Just Me.
Funny story about that.
There it is. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. I didn't realize how fast of a tempo I counted it off. And when Carrie wrote the chart to it, and then we proceeded to do it again. I said, "Whoa, who counted this off?" He said, "You did." I said, "Okay."
Oh. Well, there you go. And
Well,
then,
you know,
just to prove the point,
now.
just to prove the point, there's another
Oh, that's
live version of you.
that didn't pick up very well, but
Yeah.
the CD version is cooking. If I do say so myself.
Okay. I know Barb Bailey.
You do?
Yeah.
Oh,
No, why do I know her? Was she in LA for a while, or did she
Well, I
contact
think
me?
she
Or
might have been, and she spent some time there, and she knows a lot of people. She's going to book me, and whenever there's a place that I can be booked in, and we're good friends too.
please say hello for me.
I will.
Yeah.
I will. She's super lady.
Yeah.
After 30 days.
These advertisements.
Oh, good grief.
Okay, here we go. Oh, yeah.
Just you, just me, we'll find a cozy spot to cuddle and coo. Just us, just we, I missed an awful lot, my trouble is you. Oh gee, what are your charms for? What are my arms for? Use your imagination. Just you, just me, I'll tie a lover's knot round for you. Left alone, our necessity is for privacy. Every sweetheart that the world has known longs to find someday the perfect hideaway. Just you, just me, let's find a cozy spot to cuddle and coo. Just us, just we, I miss an awful lot, my trouble is you. Oh gee, what are your charms for? What are my arms for? Use your imagination. Just you, just me, I'll tie a lover's knot round one for you.
Okay, cool. And now I actually want to hear a little bit of the title track.
Oh, that's the gem. You Must Believe in Spring. There is, did you get the
Yesterday-
video of that?
Sorry?
There's a video of me singing it, by the way.
Oh, there is? Oh, you mean with the introduction of the album?
Right, yeah.
Let me go to that. So this one right here?
Oh, here, yeah.
Okay.
They put that together really nice.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I saw this one.
Songs are, for me, I look for something that's challenging melodically, that has a lot of leaps and a lot of range. Those things are challenging and fun for me to do. So the first song I picked was You Must Believe in Spring. Fabulous song. I fell in love with it the first time I heard it, and I decided this is going to be the first song on the CD. The message was something that really spoke to me. It's really apropos, given what's going on today.
It'll keep going. I hope.
Okay.
Come on.
It's a message of hope.
When lonely feelings chill the meadows of your mind, just think, when winter comes, can spring be far behind? Beneath the deepest snows, the secret of a rose is merely that it knows you must believe in spring. Just as a tree is sure its leaves will reappear, it knows its emptiness is just the time of year. The frozen mountain dreams of April's melting streams, how crystal clear it seems. You must believe in spring. When angry voices drown the music of the spheres, and children face a world that's far beyond their years, above the darkest sky, the far horizons lie, with all the reasons why you must believe in spring. You must believe in love and trust it's on its way. Just as the sleeping rose awaits the kiss of May, so in a world of snow are things that come and go. Where would you think can't be certain of. You must believe in spring and love.
Yeah, that was great. Awesome. Awesome. Great.
They better say that. They better.
I know, man.
It's good for them.
That was beautiful.
Thank you.
So actually, I just want to share the screen again just to look at what songs are on the record. So, At Last, is that?
No, that's on the Taylor Street.
Oh, right. I see. That's, yeah. So maybe You Must Believe in Spring. Maybe that'll list. So Manhattan, which I was just talking about Manhattan. Is the Rodgers and Hart song?
Yes.
I did a live stream with a great pianist last night, Tamir Hendelman, and we did a tribute to Rodgers and Hart. And Manhattan happened to be, I didn't know this before, but it was Larry Hart's, well, their first hit was Manhattan.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh. And that was the song that really made Larry Hart the sweetheart on Broadway.
Oh, man, that's such a great tune. And Carrie Dedman, the arranger, is the one who suggests. I heard the song. I think it would be good for you. I mean, I'd known about it, but I just didn't give. It just slipped my mind. It is a wonderful song. And then he said, "You should do this. I could do a great arrangement and blah 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 blah." It's right up your alley. It has leaps. This melody has leaps, and then of course I was watching, I don't know, episode maybe of Mad Men at the time, which I very seldom watch TV. And this particular time I was watching the ending of this episode, and lo and behold, Ella Fitzgerald was singing, man. Oh, that's how it sounds,
That's a sign.
Yeah, let's add it.
Wow. And then, of course, we heard Joy Spring. We heard Flower is a Lovesome Thing. And Estate.
Yeah, that's always been one of my favorites. And I forgot who had told me this story about how this song came into being. Of course, it's Italian, and Jobim is the one who just fell in love with it and took it and sang it in Italian. You probably have heard it.
Yeah, definitely.
And that song has always been a favorite of mine. And the words in Italian, I speak Italian. That's all I spoke as a child until I went to school. Or my older sister started browbeating us into speaking English. You're in America now,
Yeah.
So the words to me are just they're indicative of unrequited love, and it's so touching and so beautiful, and it's a beautiful melding with the melody. It's just perfect, and I love bossa novas to begin with. I love bossa novas.
Yeah, and this song was such a perfect bossa nova, wasn't it? Wow.
Yeah.
And did you sing it in Italian on this record?
I did. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've recorded it in Italian too, and it's
you did? Cool.
Yeah, it's so beautiful. Oh my God. And then Heaven, what song is that?
That's a wonderful Duke Ellington song that I had the pleasure of singing background to a very wonderful jazz singer, lady. Oh boy, this is terrible. McCann. I think her last name is McCann. And Lakeside Singers was singing background for her in this particular tune. And this is when I'd heard it for the first time. And so I fell in love with this particular tune. And I thought if I ever get a chance to record anything, I'm adding this song. It came to be on my CD.
Wow. Okay. Nice. I don't know. We might have to listen to a little bit of everything, And then you have Midnight at the Starlight Haunted Ballroom.
Yeah.
What
Are
is
you familiar with Victor Feldman?
Sure.
Okay. That's the first time I heard it was his version. A friend of mine, a very wonderful, also a very wonderful jazz singer and great piano player, Judy Roberts, who's been forever,
Sure.
had put it up and said, listen to this, listen to this tune. I'd never heard this one before either. And it's just such a cool song. Such reminiscences running throughout this whole melody and all the lyrics. And so that's how I got to put that particular song on the CD. Fell in love with that one too. I love all these songs.
Of course, and then Devil May Care, which is written by Bob Dorough, right?
Oh, yes, which is another favorite. I love his music too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And A Sleeping Bee, one of the most beautiful Harold Arlen songs. And her.
Yeah.
Yeah. And A Night in Tunisia.
I'm sorry?
And you did A Night in Tunisia.
Oh, yeah. I've always loved that Dizzy's tune. And that's always been one of my, I'm a bebop lady, from way back. I am. I always will be.
I like how she says that. It's like, I admit it, okay?
Yeah.
And then, wow, you do 'Tis Autumn.
Yeah. Yeah, I got to do all my tunes that have always intrigued me. And I thought would be fun to sing.
Okay, I'm sorry. I just have to hear a little bit of 'Tis Autumn because I'm just kind of intrigued. Because that's kind of a really tough song here.
Then the birds got together to chirp about the weather. After making their decision with birdie-like precision, turned about and made a beeline for the south. Old Father Time checked, so there'd be no doubt, called on the north wind to come on out, then clapped his hands so proudly to shout, la-dee-da-dee-da-dee-dum, 'tis autumn. The trees say they're tired, they've borne too much fruit, shone on the wayside, there's no dispute. Now shedding leaves, they don't give a hoot. La-dee-da-dee-da-dee-dum, 'tis autumn. Then the birds got together to chirp about the weather. La-dee-da-dee-da-dee-da-dee-dum, la-dee-da-dee-dum. After making their decision with birdie-like precision, turned about and made a beeline for the south. My holding you close really is no crime. Ask the birds, ask the trees, no Father Time. It's just to help the mercury climb. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-dum, 'tis autumn.
Oh man. Okay, I'm going to fade out here because we're getting, actually, believe it or not, it's been 2 hours.
Holy moly, really.
Isn't that amazing?
And we, all the time, throughout the whole thing, good grief.
I know. It's just 2 hours is not, I mean, at first it's always seems a little, 2 hours? Are you kidding? We're going to talk for 2
I
hours.
bet they all say the same thing, I bet, right? I mean, you get to listen. Oh.
Yeah, so that is great. Can we hear a bit of Night in Tunisia? Okay. I'll play that. Sure, why not? Let's see. Here we go. Here we are.
What a great chart this is. Oh,
Cool.
Is the same moon above you, aglow with its cool evening light, but shining at night in Tunisia. Never does it shine so bright. The stars are aglow in the heavens, but only the wise understand that shining at night in Tunisia, they guide you through the desert sand. Words fail to tell a tale too exotic to be told. Each night's a deeper night in a world ages old. The cares of the day seem to vanish. The ending of day brings release. It's a wonderful night in Tunisia, where the nights are filled with peace. So deep at night in a world ages old. The kids of the day seem to vanish. The ending of day brings release. It's a wonderful night in Tunisia, where the night is filled with peace.
Wow. Fantastic.
That's a great chart. I love that chart. Love it.
Might ask Ralph or whomever takes care of your, the YouTube listings. They can list the arranger and the musicians. They can list anybody on this on this, you know.
Oh,
So, and it's nice, especially in this case for the arranger, right?
definitely. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to make a note of that. Yeah.
Yeah. Boy, Josie Falbo, ladies and gentlemen, a lot of people that I know from LA probably are new fans of yours. And I'm sure there are people who know of you too, who came on as well. Thank you so very much for spending 2 hours with me on here.
It's my distinct pleasure. I'm very grateful, Cathy. Thank you for spotlighting me and my CD, and happy as a clam about that. Thank you.
And you can follow Josie on her website, josiefalbo.net. And I just want to also say this is the third day in the week. So next week, I'll be Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Monday, the big band arranger for the Big Fat Band, he's the founder of that band, Gordon Brisker, I'm sorry, Gordon Brisker, that's a name out of the past, Gordon Goodwin. And Tuesday, one of the most prestigious trombone players on the planet, Ed Neumeister. And Wednesday, not jazz people. It's Evie Ladden and Keith Terry. I don't know if you know these people, Josie, but
I don't think so.
They're really amazing artists. Amazing. Keith Terry is one of the foremost for a long time body percussionists. He's traveled all over the world doing this body percussion.
Oh man, that is cool. Yes.
Yeah. He also plays bass and sings. And the last time he was in LA, I discovered he was married to this amazing artist, Evie Ladden, who is a mofo on the banjo. I mean, mofo. And plays guitar and sings great, writes, and she clogs. Clogs. She, in other words, dancing with clogs.
Oh, okay. I thought, what?
Yeah, it's folky, you know.
Okay.
And they're at their top of their game. And they're amazing artists. So that's Wednesday. So that's next week. So I hope you all come back and see, because it's going to be really fun.
Yeah, that sounded very interesting. I'll come and visit you.
Okay. Well, thanks, Josie. Thanks so much for being on, and good luck with the record. And thanks everybody for joining us. And you definitely have a new fan, Roland Askerons. So
Thank you, Roland.
Thanks, Josie.
Again, appreciative, very appreciative. Thank you.
Great to meet you, and have a great evening.
You too.
Okay.